Hello, this is Bonnie, and today I wanted to share with you a brand new product that came out from Lisa Horton, and it is designed by Tracey Hey. She's a wonderful designer, and I just received this in the mail, and I thought maybe I would show you an easy way for those of you that might not feel like you can color these to do this using Lisa Horton's inks. So I want to go ahead and show you they're just super duper cute, and the packaging gives you really good examples of how you can color these images as well, and there are several sentiments in this set as well. So this set also comes with, this is what they actually look like, the stamps, super cute, and then they also come with a matching set of dies. And you can even see even all the little things get cut out, and so do the sentiments. So this is a really awesome set for the price. And so I thought we'd go ahead and get started. And I'm going to just basically use Lisa's inks. And I have some sample paper. This is a little bit harder cardstock. I usually use this when I want to make some paper and I get it a little bit wet. But I don't plan on doing that for the first part. I'm going to try to do it two different ways. But first I'm just going to do the blending ink. And this one happens to be Straw Hat. I always thought that the color was what was underneath. In this case it is not. This is a beautiful pink. So just keep that in mind. And looking at the packaging, I'm going to try to say something similar to this. I don't have all of Lisa's colors, so I can only do with what I have. So the bottom part and a little bit of this is pink, and it looks just like this really cute, this really pretty color from Straw Hat. So I'm going to start at the bottom, and you're going to notice this is very, very, very subtle, and you have to add a little bit, but it's perfect because it's what you want for the bottom of the fish. And there's a way to do that just by adding blending ink to this, and blending ink rather. So for the bottom part of this, and I'm going to also use the packaging to show you what I mean, so I know about where I want that, even that pink to be, and when I want that next color. And so this is pretty easy doing it this way. For those of you that don't really, maybe color with pencils or Copics, and you can get a quick look. So that's what I'm going to do for the ones that are pink. And then I'm going to add, my plan is to add a little bit, but I'm not really sure that this ink is really cool. It's an interference ink. It works really cool on black paper, black paper. However, this is the only yellow that I have at the moment. I would suggest probably a lighter one. And I'm going to come in from this side and come down. Actually, I should probably have gone down further, but that's all right. So it's going to work though, I can see. So obviously I got a little bit more at the top, but that's all right because I can use that too for another part. But I'm just trying to get down here to the pink. And the best way to do that, I could have made my paper smaller. And I'll still be able to use this up here for something else. So it's, like I said, this is really subtle, and I'm just leading up to the pink. So that's pretty simple understanding how that's going to work. And I can come back in if I want it to be a little bit more darker at the bottom and blend that up better. So that will be for, like, I think those are, I kind of like call those puffer fish. I think that's right. And then you can see how that would work. So let's check that out. So then when you put that on there, you can see how that could work really well for them. All right, so that's for the puffer fish. We'll set that aside. And so then for the next ones, which would be, I'm not really sure which, I can't remember what type of fish these are. At any rate, for these two right here, if you look at the packaging, again, there is like a green and a blue. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to be using Eucalyptus Leaves. It has a blue-green cast to it, and I think it's really good for this. So I'm going to start again at the bottom with Eucalyptus Leaves, and again, it doesn't matter if it doesn't have to be perfect down there, but if you don't like a certain part, you just go to a different part when you go to stamp it. Again, it goes really easy doing it this way. I'm going to come up a little bit higher on this one. Again, it does not have to be a smooth finish either. It can be if you want it to be. And then I'm going to use Woodland Moss. This has more of the yellow, this has more of the blue, this has more of the yellow to it. Now, what was really on here, like I said, it's a green and a blue. So I really like this light blue, and I might try something else on the other part of this, or I might make another one. And I'll show you what I mean. So for this one, like I said, so this is gonna like be more of a blue, well, I want to say green blue, but I'm going to show you, I do have a blue from the interference ink, and I'm going to try that too. And I should be able to get several out of here. The only inks I haven't pulled out, which I will, is for the octopus, or, oh, that's a jellyfish. It's not an octopus. I will have one for the jellyfish too at the bottom of that packaging. Now you could also use the same technique with these inks for our background to go with these fish also, and then put them on top. So, okay, I think we've got that pretty good. So we've got our two colors for our fish, and I'll show you what that looks like again. I think that'll work really well for either one of them. And then I'll come back in and we'll color the heart and the light bulb. All right, so the other one I wanted to show you, just to show you there is a difference in the fish one, that last one. I am going to use the blue this time with the, looking at the packaging, with the green on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and still use Woodland Moss on the bottom. And then I'm going to use the interference ink blue because it's the only blue that I have. I have ordered one that's coming that'll work really, really well. But I couldn't wait to make my fish today for the ink to come. Again, and Lisa has no problems with this either. You can use any of your Distress oxide inks too. With her inks, they work perfectly together. Gives you an even larger way to make your cards. All right, so I've got the green on the bottom, and now I'm going to use the interference ink for the top. And if you look, it looks quite bright, but when you go to do it, it doesn't have to be, depending on how much you put on. And what's cool about the interference inks, which I should say, is you have a shimmer. So for the fish, actually this is working quite well. I thought it was going to be too dark, but this is perfect. And then you get the shimmer with it. So that's what's cool. I didn't really show that to you, but there's a shimmer with the interference inks. Oops, got a little bit up there, that's okay. Oh, it's even kind of cool on my nail. All right. I got distracted. So I think you can see how that part right there, that's shiny, shiny, shiny. That's why it's kind of glaring because of the light I have on in here. It's a really, really gray day, which we tend to have a lot in Indianapolis area in the winter. So anyway, that's kind of like You can see the shine on that top piece. But that'll work really good too for the fish. I'm kind of excited about that. I didn't realize how that's going to be super cool. So I can use this for a lot of things. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff out for the jellyfish, and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the jellyfish on the bottom, obviously there's a couple of different colors for the example, and they still made it very similar. She made it very similar to the fish on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple different combinations. The bottom part right here, I am going to make it so that it is more pink, I believe, and then the top part I'll do just like I did for the other fish. So I am going to use the pink, like I said, for the bottom. And let's see, I want to make sure I have the right pink. Yep. All right. So the pink is going to be on the bottom. Oops, that one. You want to know what I did? There's ink underneath. And in order to do that properly, I need to clean that off. If you ever want to pull ink onto your thing from underneath, that's cool. But it's not my plan right now. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? Just because I did that, I am going to take advantage of this also for another fish. I'm just going to add these colors, like doing like that, because that was one of the other things I was going to show you. That would make a really cool fish too. And there's no sense in me wasting that ink. And that will work great. Okay, so I should be able to do that, and let me show you. So I can use that just as well, and that'll be cool. Again, easy way to do it. So I'm just going to wipe that little bit off so I can do the jellyfish. You could say that's a happy accident. All right, so let's see, where did I put that? Okay, use that. So I have another one. We'll start again. But I've got a little bit of blue on my brush. Okay, I think we're good. If not, we'll flip it over. That's the nice thing about paper. There's two sides. All right. So, like I said, the bottom of this is going to be pink, and I'm thinking in terms of how the ink is going to blend together. And like I said, I'm going to do it like the picture. So I'm going to have the blue in between this time. I think that'll work. I just have to know about how much. Okay, so we've got our pink. Oh, and I don't know if I told you that was a Dusky Rose. And then what did I say? Yeah, we're going to do the blue. And what I have, again, like I said, is an interference ink. And that's Sapphire Gold Shimmer. I might not have said that earlier. Okay. And because it's going to be in the center, I'm going to come down this way for right now. And I really love this shimmer. It's so pretty. And so when it blends in with that, it's going to give it a little bit of, because pink and blue make purple. So we'll get a little bit of a purple hue in between there, which is okay. It's quite pretty. All right. So that looks really good. So the next color I'm going to use, I think what I did was, yeah, I used the, I think we're going to go with the Woodland Moss. Let's see. Yeah, Woodland Moss. And that's going to come from the top. And again, because the space of the image isn't huge, I don't want to have big, huge lines in it either. So we're making the blue a little bit smaller, I think. And it blends fine with the green too. So both ways, having the blue in the center works really well. Because the blue and the green match really well, and the pink and the blue match really well. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Because you can always test this out. Yeah, so I think that kind of like works too. We have a little bit of a variety there. And it depends on where you stamp it. Like say for instance, I decide I just want the blue on the bottom. I can do that. Now the pink and the blue. I have a lot of options there. So that works really cool. So the only thing left that I want to show you, which is what I kind of showed you with that one piece by accident, is when you put these colors on your mat, as what you kind of like saw. So just add just a little bit. There's a little bit of green there. I don't want to mess up my pad, so I'll go a little bit down from that, a little bit of blue. And then all you have to do is add just a little bit of water. Move these out of the way. And then you mess that with your fingers, but I need to get my paper. I need a little bit more paper. Okay. And then you mess that a little bit with your fingers together, because now it doesn't matter. That way. And then you get and you just kind of like swipe. And you get all different colors on there. And that is a really pretty color. You can get some really, really nice colors. So you do that. And I'm going to add more to this one. But you can see again, it's a little bit lighter, but they'll make really great fish. So you really have an option as to what you want to do if you're not a colorist. So let's go ahead and add a little bit more down here. I want just a little bit more for this paper. All right, forgot where I put my, there we go. Again, just mix that up just slightly. And obviously the more you put on, the more water you put on, the lighter the color it'll be. All right. And I think that's going to work really great. Looks really fishy. Okay, so we've got that one. And then like I said, if I want to do the pink, a little bit of the pink and the yellow, we'll do that too. And we have a variety. All right. Let me put my lids back on. All right, so we are going to use the straw hat and the Sweet Treat Shimmer. I will have what I use in the description below, so you know all the names of the inks. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, and then I'm going to put a little bit of the pink, or straw hat. Okay, we'll see how this works. Now yellow and pink would also make orange, so that would give us kind of an interesting look as well. Okay, and we'll swipe our paper. Well, that's more yellow because I went up there with the yellow. It's more dominant. So I would say that in this case, which is a good experiment, is that the yellow is more dominant than the pink. So knowing that, I'm going to add the Dusky Rose. I'm going to clean that a little bit to this, because this is a little bit darker. And see what happens. And so the whole key here is to play and discover what it is you can do. And it might not be what we want at all. And I'll use it for something else. It's never a waste. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that's kind of cute. There's some spots in there that'll work great. So, and that's what you do. And this was just scrap that I had, so totally not a waste. So, the next step will be is to stamp them. So I'll get that set up. Okay, so I'm all set up with stamping, and I know I've got the light up above that's shining, and again, that's because the weather outside is not cooperating. So I've got this all set up on my Misty, and what I did was I actually took this, and what I do is I audition. I call that auditioning, and I actually just put this over the ink, and then once I decide where I want it to be, that's where I do it. And actually, let me just show you over here on this side. Say, for instance, I wanted him to be all yellow. So then what I would do is I would figure out where I wanted him. I would set this on top, and then I would close my lid and go ahead and do it that way. In this case, I just knew from putting this on exactly kind of like where I would want it. But you can audition your stamps by using your carrier sheet. So these are all set up and ready to go. And I am going to be using VersaFine Clear Nocturne. That is what I use for a lot of my stamping. That's what I have in my stash. So just as I'm stamping this, I'm noticing that the lines on the stamps are not thick, which is great. They're actually almost looks like sketching, and I love that. It looks super. Oh, I wanted to tell you one other thing, which you'll notice when I do this. When I auditioned these stamps for the ink, or here to put it on here, I know that I'm going to color this light bulb and this heart. So instead of putting it right in the center, because there's a lighter edge here, I actually brought them over to the side, because that'll even allow me to even easily, if that's a word, easily color them. So look at that. I'm upside down. So let me put that the right way for you. Okay. So now you can see, aren't those cute? And see, I can add cheeks by using my pencils. I can color, with my pencils on top of this. I don't know how Copics work with Lisa's inks. I've never done that before, but I will be using my pencils. So we've got those all set up. And the other thing I did not consider, which I should have considered before I did that, is the space between these to make sure I have room for my dies to cut out. I might have needed to move this one over a little bit, and I'm not really sure how close these are either to the edges. So keep that in mind. I did not, because typically I usually cut my stamps out instead of using dies, so I wasn't even thinking. So let's go ahead and get these other ones stamped, and you can see the process that I actually use. So I'm going to go ahead and get the jellyfish, pull these all off. I mean, I have a lot of paper left that I can do several of these now. I'm going to flip this back around and show you how I do it from the start. Okay, so I've got my paper set on here, and I've got my cute little jellyfish, and all I do, like I said, I can have a couple different ones. I'm going to have it blue with a little bit of green. So what I do is I just put that right on there, just like that, because I'm auditioning it, and I like that space, and so then I just pick that up, pull that away, and I can stamp. Super easy. And like I said, I can then add more color by using my colored pencils. Look how adorable that is. I mean, really, super duper cute. So let's go ahead and I can do one more just because this is fun. Let's do it so that the blue, and I'm going to get it further away like I told you. Just so that, I don't know if I'm far enough away. Oh, I've got a little bit of ink sitting there, so I'll go even further. Okay. And this is also a really good base if you want to have this underneath and then just add any type of pencil to it. So you don't have to color the whole thing. You have your base, and you just, you can add shading with your pencils. So look, yay! So cute. And I have a variety of colors in my jellyfish. So fun. I'm having too much fun, actually. I'm going to do one more. Got a little bit. This one's a little bit lighter on this end. So they can all be different. They don't have to, that's what's cool about doing the ink this way, is it makes it unique. Because every time you ink something up, it doesn't look the same. Cute. All right, so that's that part. We're all set up. And the next thing I would do is, like I said, I would probably, you can either die cut these now, or you can color them and then die cut them. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a couple pencils just to show you what I mean. Okay, so I thought I'd start with the puffy fish first. And you can again look at your example if you want to. I'm going to do the very simple first and then add shading, so you can stop at any time when you're coloring. So I'm just going to add a little bit. This actually, I'm using Prismacolor pencils, and this one is called Rose. And I'm going to turn this to the side for when I'm coloring. And in these cheek areas, I'm going to start with very lightly doing circles. And this just gives you a little bit more color to what you just inked up. And you just think of your cheeks, you know, where you want the highlights to be of your cheeks. And it's just very, very simple. And you do that on both sides. And you just do a really light circle. And then you've got his cheeks. And you can do the same for this one. Super simple. Makes them look so happy. Okay. So that is all you really need to do if you want to add a little bit of color to their cheeks. Now, if you want to, that's just really simple. Now, if you want to add a little bit of shading on the bottom down here, what would be the furthest away from the light is where you do shading. And so this would be here at the bottom, and I'm just going to use that same color pink and very, very lightly, like if you're doing Copics, you know what I'm talking about. You start with, and then you blend, whether you do the light or the dark. You do the same with a pencil. And I've only picked out one color, so if I wanted to blend more, I would go to another color, or you just do it lighter as you're going up. And if you don't like that line that shows, that's when you start doing your blending. So that looks really good for down there at the bottom. But like I said, if you want that to blend out a little bit better, you go with the next lighter color, and that would be Rose Deco. And then you would just blend that into it so there's not that harsh line like you would when you do Copics. People usually associate things together, what they've learned, if they've learned Copics, how they can apply that to other mediums. All right, so again, you can add more if you want or less, but I'm also going to give that shading a little bit underneath those little fins right there. And in this case, there's nothing underneath because that's going to be cut out. So stay right there on that fin. And I'm going to come in where those little lines are and add just a little bit of color. Okay, and then you can add a little bit of color to the pink if you want to this yellow. And again, if you want to blend it out ever so slightly, you just come back in with that lighter color and blend it a little. And then that one can be done. Or say you want these little itty bitty cute little pokes, have a little color. You can have a little, just a dot of color throughout. Ties that pink all in with the yellow. Just like that. You can do that. It's very simple. Like I said, if you want it to be blended out, you can blend it out even more. There is even what's called, this is Eggshell, and Eggshell is very similar to the yellow that I used when it's light like that. And then you've got that. So you would do the same thing for this fish over here, just adding the shading to the bottom, and a little bit of pink. You see I'm not being really fancy or anything when I'm coloring. I'm going to add a little bit to the couple of fins, and then to all these little pokey bits. Okay. And then come back in there with the next lighter color. Might have needed to sharpen that better. And again, you want to make sure your ink it's not still wet when you start doing this coloring, because it will pull the black. Okay. And your little, I think I'm going to add a little bit more there. And your puffy fish would be done, and you can die cut those out. Super cute. So for the other fish, I pulled out some greens, and the darkest color I'm using is called Parrot Green. And again, I'm going to do the same concept. Oh, actually, before we do shading, let's just do the cheeks. And then you can call that done if you just want to do cheeks. And that one's got a little bit more. I'm going to have to blend that out. So I got cheeks on both of them. And like, if you don't want cheeks, then you just don't do any of that at all. And I'm going to blend that out a little bit. Okay, so then you could technically be done with that totally if you don't want to go any further than that. And then I'm going to use the Parrot Green for the bottom for the shading. It was pretty similar to the Eucalyptus Leaves, which is again the kind of way I think is like, okay, what color would match with inks? And you can actually figure that out pretty easily, I think. But anyway, the Parrot Green works really well with the Eucalyptus Leaves. And I'm just adding, like I said, shading to some of these top pieces. You can see that. I'm going to come back in there and blend that out. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one down here. They're just so cute. And they're so fun to color. They're, you know, it's not a lot of details, only if you want to add details when you're coloring. So, but it's really fun to use the inks for the background. All right, so the color I'm going to come back in there with, I need to blend that one out a little bit. I didn't pull a blending one. And I would probably use, let's see here, I need to have like a green cast. So I'm going to be using, this one's called like Light Aqua. And that's what I'm going to use to blend that one out a little bit. And if I still feel like there's a bit of a line, I'll come back in with a third color. But I think that one's going to be okay. And it's like as you color away, you color lighter. That actually gives you your shading too. So I'm doing that to all these little, I don't know what you call these, spikes? Okay. He looks so cute. Look, so super cute. Like I said, if you don't like those lines, you just come back in with yet another color, or you just color further lighter. You know, like I'll just keep going up, but very light-handed. I have also, just to let you know, used an eraser. I'm going to show you that. What did I do with my eraser? Well, I was going to show you my eraser. I don't see it. But anyway, I have an eraser that I use for my pencils. I don't know, it's usually sitting right in the same place. It's not there. Oh well. Anyway, so what I was going to say about my eraser is I will come back in and use my eraser to soften things too. Well, you know what? I can use the end of I have one of these tips. And just to show you what I mean, is you can come in here and just lightly erase if you think it's too dark. And it doesn't take the complete color away, but it will reduce the line. So we've got those shaded. We've also got their cheeks done. Now, if I want to do this little heart right here, I've got a little bit of a darker pink. This one is hot pink, and it could be red. And I'm just going to go ahead and color that in. Super easy. And I've got the pink there. He'd be cute for even Valentine's Day, wouldn't he? Okay, so I'm trying to look to see what else I need to do. Okay, right. We have this light bulb. So with the light bulb, I have yellow ochre. Now there's another thing you can do too if you have gel pens. You could even come in with a gel pen if you wanted to give it even more of a glittery look if you wanted. That works too. So that's yellow. So you can see both of them. And then I could add even a little bit of, I could add gold to this. You could add, your gel pen, your gold gel pens. Say for instance, I want these teeth to be more white. You can use your Jelly Roll pen and come back in and make those white. And that works too. So the next thing that you would do is you would die cut all those out. And those would be super cute. I'll quickly do, I know I've been keeping you for a little while, but if you want to see how this works, I'll go ahead and do one of these. And they'll all be different because I have them in different places. So for this one, I am going to use the hot pink. This also could almost be a red, but I'm going to use the hot pink, see how that works. Yeah, that's going to give me enough shading. Oh, I should have just showed you the cheeks first. I'm sorry, but we'll go ahead and finish this. Okay. So that just gives you a little bit of shading for down there. And if you want more of a contrast, you're going to want to go for a darker color. And I can show you that in a minute too. But let's go ahead and do the cheeks. And with the cheeks, again, I'm going to use it's just pink, or rose. Well, it says pink and rose. So this side says pink, this side says rose. So it's 929 if that helps. Okay, so cheeks. And you can really see the glimmer on here from the blue ink, from the interference ink that I use. It's so pretty. And aren't those cute? Super cute. Super duper cute. All right, and so up here, I mean here obviously the pink works really well, and it'll work here too, but you just don't put as much as it gets lighter. Don't be as heavy-handed with your pencil. Be really light. Just depends on what color, how much you want. And again, I would still like these. I would use blue to highlight because it's more in the blue. And down here I would use in this one I would use the pink. So it really matters where you've stamped it and what the prominent color is and how you want to highlight it. Shade it is what I should say. So that's just quickly, I'm not really blending it in. But anyway, I want to show you what I mean. If I want to make this darker, there's one that's called a process red. And I think that really is what it's called for probably down here. it needed to be darker, because you really need a little bit more of a contrast if you want to see shading. And again, this is just really super simple coloring and just considering what the shading would be. And so the other thing I have is it's called Blue Lake. And if I'm going to do any type of shading, this one, the Blue Lake kind of like is I want to say, see, I went too far, is really a purpley blue. Couldn't get that part, so we will work with it. All right, so it's more of a purpley blue because it's really a combination of that pink and blue that I used right there. So again, I'm just giving that little bit of shading. Now, you have to, like I said, consider where you are coloring in the spot. I could totally do that blue right there. But if I want to pick up this green, I can do another color. And this one's Chratreuse. Or I can, like I said, keep it the blue. And I'm never really sure. But that gives it kind of a highlight there. Might end up the blue in the bottom anyway. And then in this case, I'm going to use the eggplant to blend that out. All right, so that's how you would, I'll do the rest of them. But you can do whatever way you really want to. I think I needed a lighter blue to blend that out anyway. And this is my favorite pencil of all of them, Powder Blue. It is like the perfect blending for all the blues. It's just gorgeous. And so I have several of these. I have probably 4 or 5 of the Powder Blue because I run out so quickly. But just to show you how quickly I run out of them, this was the one that I had. Oh, I found my eraser. This is the eraser that I will use. It's called the Prismacolor Magic Rub, and that works really well. So did the other one. So, all right, finished with that little bit. It just blends it out really well. Okay, so I didn't mean to keep you forever, but I really wanted you to see you can make them quite quickly and easily, and they look really good. I mean, you can always add a lot more detail, and you don't have to start with the ink in the background. You can just color them, and they're really, I mean, they're just cute. You can see how cute they are. So I'm going to go ahead and I will get these all die cut, and I'll take a picture of them so you can see them at the beginning so you know what it is I'm coloring. So I just want to say thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoyed that. Please let me know in the comments below, and talk to you again soon.